and welcome to the Tuesday, January 26th, 2021 Ask the Trainer here at the Animal Welfare Society in Kennebunk, Maine. I'm Dana Falsetta, our Behavior and Training Program Coordinator here, and this week we're going to talk about walking. So we get a lot of questions about things to do with our dogs on a walk. So whether that's dogs who pull a lot and how do we get them to walk nice on a leash, what should we do with our dogs, reactivity questions. But this week we had somebody ask about heeling, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, as that's something that we don't always come up or brush aside, and it's a common word in dog training, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. It can be more of an advanced walk, so since a lot of you have asked about doing something more advanced training or advanced tricks, I thought it would be a good idea to show some heeling examples today. Okay, so let's dive into walking, and I think this is really important to break down. There are 3 different kinds of walks that we should be doing with our dogs, and I'm going to talk about them in kind of the order of importance, or how I feel that they are important to make sure we get done in a day. The first kind of walk is the walk for your dog. This is so important. Sometimes we call it a sniffari, or taking a sniffy walk. This is a walk you should be doing with your dog in a safe area, so away from oncoming traffic or busy areas, but where you can use a long leash or maybe just your short 6-foot leash and let your dog sniff, check out all the new scents, go to the bathroom, and not have any pressure on the leash. So that means you might be following your dog a little bit in a zigzag pattern. You are going to kind of keep up with them and what they are doing. And sometimes that's why the 15, 30-foot leashes can be really useful, is let them kind of sniff and you just walk along and you follow them and you let them use their nose. This is so important because smell is a huge part of a dog's brain, and how they feel good, and sniffing things can produce some good happy chemicals in the brain. It's really important for your dog's mental health and well-being to be able to have these kind of exploratory walks. So you want to do those. The second walk that we do with our dogs is the walk with the 2 of you, and this is the one we focus on in our training classes the most often, loose leash walking or walking together. And that would look like that your dog is walking next to you on either side. They're not zigzagging and pulling a lot. Your arm's not out of your shoulder, like they're on their leash. Doing okay. They're checking in with you, you're checking in with them, and you're walking kind of at the same pace together, and it's something that you're doing together and jointly. So your dog should be able to sniff a little bit, but also focus if you ask them to. And you're going to use some exercises that we teach in class. I am sure, because we've done it in most of our Ask the Trainers, teaching your dog to touch, so if they are pulling on the leash, you can ask them to come back and touch your hand. You can do some find it. We can do look or watch me, where we ask them for some eye contact and we're asking them to check in. We can also naturally reward them, carry some treats on that walk, and every time they just check in with you naturally, we tell them good dog and we give them some treats, and we practice that. We practice treating by our side in the general area where our dog is, and getting them used to just kind of being in that bubble and having this walk together. So where if you need to go in one direction, they're going to follow you, and then you might take a little bit of time and let them sniff something that they want to sniff. This is generally a lot of the walking that we do. It's most of what we teach in classes, and it's what we generally think about. Now, people do call this like calling my dog to heel, and it's actually different. So that's the third kind of walk that we do, is that's that walk just for me. That's the walk that the dog doesn't have any choices, and it's we are going where I'm going, we are walking where I'm walking. You have to focus on me. There is no sniffing, there's no exploring. You are in a specific position. And that is actually what heeling is. So calling your dog to heel means calling your dog to your left side, where their front paws, their elbows, are in line with your pant seams, or the middle of your leg and calf there, their shoulders. And they're usually looking up at you. If they might be looking straight forward and focused on you, or how I normally teach it is that they are looking up directly at you and not really looking where they're going. So that's going to be more of a heel position, You can use it as a recall. If we call our dog to heel, they should zip over and get into that alignment and focus on you. It's a really specific thing. So where that comes into walking in real life, though, is more situational. So it's the type of walking I do the least unless we're in training class or doing it as an exercise, having fun. What I normally use it for is we're going to walk through a busy area. There's a trail, other dogs are coming. I'm going to ask my dog to get into heel position, focus on me, and follow my lead. But then after that situation's over, I'm going to release him. When I lived back in Philadelphia, we would do this on crowded streets, especially when all the restaurant tables would be lined up along the building and you'd have to pass them on the sidewalk. And I didn't want my dog stealing pizza off of people's tables, so I would put him into a heel position and walk him past the table so he was focused on me and not worried about other people's food. This is something that I think is really fun to train, but not fun to use all of the time. So it's not something that we would do a whole walk in heel position, but we might do some parts of our walk in heel position and most of our walk in loose leash walking where the dog is generally next to you and paying attention when you ask them to. So hopefully that makes that a little bit more clear on the difference between loose leash walking and a heel position. So when we train heel position, we train the position first, and that can be in a stand, a lie down, or a sit. Generally, when we're walking, we want it in a stand, and then maybe a sit if we stop moving, depending on what you're using it for. Or, competition is a whole different category, so we're not going to get into that because that's going to be really specific and have different needs depending on what you're competing in and for. But for kind of pet dog ownership, we're going to go teach about how to get your dog into a heel position and then the first steps of walking in a heel, loosely, more of a kind of more casual heel than what you would do in any sort of formal competition standpoint. So I'm going to grab some treats and I'm going to grab a puppy. And I'll be right back to talk a little bit more about how we train our heel position, getting our dogs into heel, and walking. Okay, see you in a minute. Hi, I am back with my puppy, Link. He is a baby dog who has never done any heeling before. He's only 11 weeks old. So I wanted to show you with him because he doesn't have any experience with this. So just to kind of show you from the beginning steps, and we'll see what he does. So to get into heel position, we are going to grab a treat. Right now he's kind of in front of me, and I'll show you from a couple different angles. I'm going to put the treat in front of his nose, let him drop the leash, again, baby dog. I'm going to bring him over to my left side so he's following the treat in my hand, back behind my left leg, and then pulling him up alongside of me. Good boy. Getting a little eye contact before treating. Good. And then we're going to let him go. All done. Good boy. Hi. Get him to come up and play a little bit while he's done chewing. He's super tired. It's the end of the day. But it's the only example I had. So I'm going to show you from the side as well here. Hi. He's kind of gravitating towards the left but pointed the wrong direction. Treats in front here. In towards my leg. I stop at my pant seam. Pull up. Good boy. Now, as he gets better at this, I'm going to also call it heel, come to heel. So I would say heel position. I might pat my leg as the cue or kind of have my hand kind of tucked up here. Depends on what you want to do with your dog. All done. And typically, just like any other position that we're training, we want to, hey buddy, touch. Come on. Come here, pup. Good boy. We want to release them before they release themselves. So if we're in heel position, it's like a stay. We do want to get them a release cue for moving out of that. It's okay to move out of that position. So walking in heel, we'll see if this works with a baby puppy. Hi, Link. So we get him into heel position. So, hey, bud. I'm going to follow our treaty. Come on. Come on. Yeah, good boy. We get into heel here. Good. And then wait for him to finish chewing. I have a treat in my hand. I'm going to have him follow that. When he's ready, heel. Come on. I'm gonna get going. See if I can get him to move and pull up alongside me here. He is not cooperating for this today and is more interested in chewing on his leash. You can do this without the leash as well. I was hoping that we'd be able to show it. He had a couple too many play dates today. Put this over here. Okay, buddy. Okay, come here. Right, so we get into heel. Hi. Swirl him around. Sit, good boy. And then we're going to take our first step. It'd be helpful if he stopped dropping treats out of his mouth, but, you know, this is what I'm showing you. This is how we do it from the beginning stages. There's no movie magic here. Link, come here, bud. I'm not going to use the word yet because he doesn't know it. Come here. Did you touch? Come on. Good boy. So I wouldn't call him into heel just yet because he doesn't know that word, so I'm just using something else to get him to come over. And then get him into position. Come on. Maybe we'll do it a little easier. Come here, buddy. Yes. And we'll see if we can just do a little walking. Yes, come on, come on. Yeah, good boy. Just getting a couple steps out of there. And then you work it in small stages. So get them into position. You're calling them to heel. You release. You call them into heel. You release. You eventually get the treat out of your hand and are just using an empty hand as a visual cue and your verbal cue of heel. And then starting off by taking just a couple steps, having your dog encouraged to maintain that position, maintain that eye contact. As you get better at it, starting to focus on your posture of keeping your shoulders pointed forward and being able to treat the dog at your side. You can use touch to help out with some of these things because targeting can really help keep them in the right position. And we go from there. So that's healing. I wish I had a dog here that I could show you a perfect example of it, but I think, a lot of you might be in the beginning stages of it, so you'll work it through with Link right here, and everybody will get it together. Okay, so that's it for Ask the Trainer. If you have any questions, we do have an Ask the Trainer submission form for any future topics. That's on the animalwelfaresociety.org, and under our training tab, Ask the Trainer. And then if you have any questions in general, need private consultations, you can email us, training@animalwelfaresociety.org. I will see you guys soon. Bye.